Hey, Patty, how are you?
I am well, Mike. How are you tonight?
I'm good. Welcome to GalaxyCon Talks Comics. Me and Patty Hawkins. I'm Mike Broder. Tonight with us is our special guest. He is the creator of the GalaxyCon mascots, the artist behind Galaxy Girl and G-Bot. He's
Mm-hmm.
the artist of Dear Justice League for DC Comics, as well as the upcoming Dear Supervillains. He worked on Guardians of the Galaxy, Bizarro, his own book, Monstros and Other Stories, which you can get from Dark Horse, and he likes to drink bourbon, like us. So, without further ado, Gustavo Duarte,
Hello, guys.
the way from Brazil.
Oh,
How did you get a GalaxyCon hat in Brazil, Gustavo?
It's a black market that we can get everything here.
Yeah.
Even now that we cannot go to the United States because your president don't want us there, but we can get some products from the United States, and GalaxyCon hat is one of these.
It's, sounds about right.
I'm picturing somebody with a big cart with miscellaneous American apocrypha. Coca-Cola, Levi jeans, Galaxy Con hats.
So Gustavo, you're in Brazil. You're working on American comics. So did you read comics when you were a kid growing up?
Yes, sir. Yes, a lot more than today. I can say that. Now that I do, I don't read too much, but when I was a kid, I used to read a lot.
What were the favorites?
Peanuts, not comics, but Peanuts. After Calvin and Hobbes, but Mad Magazine, and if you are talking about superhero, I can say Spider-Man, Hulk, and all Will Eisner stuff. Will Eisner he still is popular here, but he was very popular in the 80s in Brazil.
Will Eisner.
Yes.
So were you like Contract with God or this?
All the graphic novels, but also Spirits. I remember the first time that when I saw Will Eisner book, it was a Spirit one. I was, I don't know, 8 or 9 years, and I used to buy Spider-Man, Hulk, Fantastic Four, other things, and I saw that, and it was bigger. It was like this, bigger than the pattern, and I said, "Wow, that's nice," because it's not. How can I say? It was so different from everything, and I became a huge fan.
Now, were you reading the Spirit stuff that you were getting? Was it like reprints from I think Dennis Kitchen was putting some of that stuff out, or was it Brazilian versions?
It was Brazilian. It was published here from the old stuff.
Okay.
It was published in a big magazine, All Spirits.
Yeah.
And then what about on the Spider-Man and the Hulk and that kind of stuff? Was it Brazilian, or English?
Yes, I started to read in English when I was, I don't know, when I was a teenager. But as a kid, we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff here, sure. And I used to read only in Portuguese.
How about the Mad stuff? Was that original English or was that translated?
Translated. And
Really?
we have original material here. Like all the Mad magazine in all the countries like that. We have a lot of American stuff at the magazine, and we have a lot of Brazilian stuff. So the Mad magazine in Brazil in the 80s was very good, very, very fun.
You just given me a whole new thing to look for, because I would be fascinated to see Mad magazine from various countries, various cultures, because Mad was always so culturally satirical and parodying and stuff. So I could top my head. I can think of a bunch of mad stuff that I just don't think wouldn't translate well humorously into other foreign cultures. But
yes, and it works because even the covers, we have a lot of good guys doing the covers for Brazil. We have here we have American covers in our magazine, but sometimes we have Brazilian covers with the political heroes or artists and things like that. It was nice.
Did you have a favorite mad artist?
I don't know. I have a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah,
who do you like?
If I need to pick one, I think I need to pick Sergio Aragonés because he's everything. But I have that part that we have. I have some books there.
I'll be right back. I'm going to grab something to show you.
I have Jack Davis there. I have
Jack Davis, yeah.
Bill Martin. I have a lot of bad stuff there.
So it seems like kind of like your art, you seem to skew towards the very cartoony style, as opposed to the more Drucker style, which is caricature based for the historical stuff, which is absolutely fine. I mean, and your art style reflects that totally. You know, when Mort Drucker just passed away just a few weeks ago, and and anytime I've done like sketch duels and stuff, and have a bunch of artists in line. The slightly older guys, they always say, "Oh, Mort Drucker," and they always rate Mort Drucker. They said he was the best artist in the world at drawing Knuckles.
He was one of the best artists in the world to draw anything.
Very true. Absolutely very true. But I had I had 3 or 4 artists that just spent about 5 minutes just talking about his skills at Knuckles and stuff. And I was just like, and again, it's like when you read Mad, you're so, because it's meant for the juvenile mind, so you're still into the humor and stuff, and the technical skills of Sergio and Don and all those guys. It's not that it's lost on you; it's just that you can't appreciate it until much older. Then you revisit it, you're like, "My God, these guys, their technique was superb."
Yes, they have both. They are brilliant talking about to have the ideas, and they are brilliant. How to do these ideas. That's not common, and it is not common to have all these guys in the same place in the same years. So that magazine was something that it's impossible to have again these guys together.
Absolutely. What on the say superhero side, did you were they artists that maybe you didn't even realize at the time, but as you got older, you suddenly realized, oh, this guy, I really liked his style, or something to that effect?
Let me see. I think John Romita, sir, because I love Spider-Man, but after them. After that time, Daily Keown. When he was doing Hulk. Yeah, he was something that I really appreciate at that time. Greg Capullo and all the Spawn work for me was. I remember the last time I could be in your country. I was with Greg Capullo, and I talked to him because I said, "Man, you were my how can I say, my guitar hero when I was a teenager." But Greg Capullo, he was one of the biggest.
Have you ever met Sergio?
Sergio, yes. Sergio did the introduction of my monster book in the United States.
Ooh.
When he did that, I said to my wife, I think I will stop now because I am in the higher ground now. It's the highest point that I can go. So I will stop. But I did it wrong. I come back like Michael Jordan, the Wizards, and now I'm living this way. It's important to know the time to stop. Like Pelé, not like Jordan. I'm like Jordan.
So a lot of people know your work in the U.S. from either Bizarro or Guardians of the Galaxy, recently Dear Justice League, but you had been working in Brazil on your own stuff for years, and
Yes.
that Dark Horse collected that, I think, in 2014.
I think
Put that all together
Right.
in Monsters and Other Stories, which has Monstros, Birds.
yes.
And so, how did you start working on your own stuff in Brazil and publishing, and how did you get into the U.S.?
I started as a cartoonist. I started as a cartoonist more than 20 years ago. I used to work for doing cartoons, illustrations, caricature. But always I want to do something with comics. But I start to think, in the future I will do, in the future I will do. But I'm old. I need to do. And 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I sit and think, I need to do a comic. And I did it was my first comic. And I did independent. After that, I did more 2 books, Taxi and Birds. And all these books I print here. I used to print here and go to or San Diego or New York to the Comic Cons to see people, to show to the publishers and to see if it can work not only in Brazil but in the United States. And when I did Monster, that is a little bigger. We are talking about 80 pages. The older stories, I did 32 pages in each. I bring to the United States to New York Comic Con, yes, to New York Comic Con, and showing to the publishers, in this case to Dark Horse. And when I did that, Sierra Han, that she was the publisher at the Dark Horse at that time, she said, let's release it here because it's bigger than the others, and we can put together, and that can be a good book. So because that they know me, because every year I used to go there, showing to all the publishers, to the people, and that's the way.
When you first put this out in Brazil, what was how hard was that actually? Did you self-publish or was there independent publishers?
Self-published. My 3 first books self-published. I can say that it's a lot of work to do, but it's not hard.
Yeah.
The problem is you need to do the book, the first thing, but you need to think about how everybody will know about that, and you go to send to the journalists. You need to do 2 or 3 release parties to the people who can drink and buy, and send some to we're talking in 2009, so it's not everything was not so easy that like today.
Yeah.
To sell in the internet and everything. I used to sell in my mail. The people just send an email to me, and I answer, and it was like that.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work to do, but it was very good, because it was good, but it's a problem because now I know how to do, and when I see that it's not working in the publishers because they are not doing a point, I'm pissed off, because it's like that. But nobody in the publishers look to me and say, this guy don't know what he's talking about, and
Right.
that's a problem. But I learned a lot doing this by myself.
Since you begin getting more familiar with the American side of publishing and the comic scene over here, what's the difference from your perspective, you would think, from comic book publishing and generally comic book fandom in general in your country compared to what you witnessed in ours?
It's totally different. You have industry of comics. We don't have. But if I sell 4,000-5,000 books, it's a huge number here. In the United States, not. So it's different. It's complicated to start to thinking to have, if you have something similar. We have a lot of people that like comics in Brazil, but we don't have this thing that all week we have new comics, all week we have new books. No, it's very small. A very small business.
Okay, so it's there. It just like I said. Mike and I are from the generation of when comic shops first really kind of got into business, and I call Mike and I would call ourselves the direct market generation. So we tend to foster that. We built into it. It almost seems like the scene in your country is the way it was maybe 30 years ago, where the concept of a direct market and things like that is just beginning to settle in, but it's also colliding with the internet and all the other new forms of media.
Yes. The internet helps you to find whatever you want, but at another point, a lot of people prefer to buy, not to buy, to read a scan or something like that. But it's very different for us. When I was a kid, the normal to buy comics it was to go to a magazine stand. And buy your comics in the same place that your mother bought her magazines. At the same time, at some place that your dad buy their magazines. It was like that. For me, it was nice to be like that. With the time, the comics start to go to the comic shops and to bookstores. And now we have, I live in São Paulo, the biggest city in the country. We have 3 or 4 comic shops, good comic shops. It's nothing. We are talking about 14 million people. So, and we have the what happened with the years is the books, the comics. Going to the books like Monstros and other stories. I have Monstros here, published in a book, and you have in the bookstores. And the bookstores put comics in the worst place possible. In the end, near the bathroom, but not so in a good place like the bathroom that you can find with the signs. We don't have signs for comics, no.
Yeah.
Comics.
So when you put, co.
That's the Brazilian version.
Yeah.
So
they put that by the bathroom?
In the bookstores, yes. In the comic shops, no. In the comic shops, these books.
But I think what they're saying is it's good bathroom reading.
No, but could be too. That's not a problem. It could be.
You do your stuff in the style, at least the international stuff, where you don't use a lot of words. In fact, you do a lot of stuff silent. Going back to the old Charlie Chaplin, idea of, getting the biggest audience possible, right? And telling the story just in pictures without words.
Yes.
Has that helped you get an audience in other countries other than Brazil and the US?
I think yes. It was not in the first moment. It was not my idea to think I will do something without words to conquest the world. No, but when I used to do cartoons, I used to love to do the cartoons without words. The best cartoons that I ever did, it was without words. When I went to do my first comic, I think I want to do something without words. I can do this in one panel, but let's see if it's possible to do in 32 pages. And I went to do Call, after Taxi, after Birds, and I really like it. So I have a lot of stories, short stories, bigger, without words. It's nice to do. In fact, using the words, you need to tell your story without them.
Yeah,
it's important to the people to the person who is reading the book to understand. Sure, with the words, but not only with the words. You are telling the story. You are drawing the actors. The actors need to do something.
I think that reflects heavily on your influences earlier. Eisner, of course, was supremely adamant about that someone should at least be able to grasp the story without any words whatsoever. And certainly Aragonés, his mad stuff was just, it's brilliant. No word balloons, no nothing. Maybe a sign in the background in English, but you can change that to match any country you send that off to.
One of the coolest things, speaking of Aragonés, that ever happened to me was he did a mad gimmick, a strip a couple years ago. I think I showed you, right, where he put the SuperCon, Florida SuperCon, thing in one of the convention strips, and I had to go out and buy a bunch of copies of that because I was like, oh, Sergio has noticed me.
You understand that? Okay, you do.
So it happened to me.
Yeah.
Were you a big Harvey Kurtzman fan? Harvey Kurtzman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a big fan because I met his work. I was an adult yet.
Yeah.
So, but I like him. The book is together with Mad World.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you something I just got recently. So in a collection.
Oh,
that's nice. Very nice.
What's that from?
He just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a commission piece. So the next time you come here, Gustavo, you'll see it hanging next to your girl.
That's nice. The good thing about my drawings at your office is that I have a lot of good company around.
Yes.
Yes.
I like to keep you, in good company.
Yes.
Certainly made my room here in Orlando interesting.
So when you were growing up, did you have a lot of friends that read comics like you?
No.
You have any?
No. Yes, only me and my cousin, Gabriel. We used to read. But my friends at the school, my other friends, one or other, I have a friend that used to read Calvin and Hobbes, but comics like I used to do, and my friends, my comic friends now, only my cousin that we two used to draw, and we like comics and all the stuff.
So you get the stuff published in the U.S. What's your first work for an American publisher other than your work?
Guardians of the Galaxy. It was a book, 2014. I don't know, it's 2014 or 2015. Andy Lanning bought my book in England, and he sent me a message to a Facebook. I don't have Facebook, but he sent to a fan page. The fan page sent to me, and I read, and it was he was talking about, I really like your work. I want to work with you. Would you do some superhero stuff? I said, yes, but I don't know if they want me to do some superhero stuff. That's strange for me. I used to love to read superhero, but when I was growing up and my style was being creating, I looked to this. I would love to do superheroes, but I don't know if the comic publishers would love me to do that.
Yeah.
So I talked to him. He was now he's a friend. He's very nice, and he said, no, I think that can work because I have an idea to a Groot story. So you can do a Groot story without words, only with I am Groot. I am Groot. I said, well, can be nice. But he called the publisher and said, the editor said, I want to work with Gustavo. And the editor said, we already gave this job for another artist. And he wrote to me and said, oh, Gustavo, sorry. They already gave to another guy. I said, that's not a problem. I'm happy that you like my work. And now I can say to my grandchild that I almost do something to Marvel, but I will not do. And he said to me, no, man, I want to work with you. I said, when you talk to me about Groot and Rocket, I did this. And I sent I sent him a drawing of Groot and Rocket. Rocket is in the top, like with web sling. What's the name of this? That's the problem when you don't really speak a language. You lost some things. But it was a drawing that it was nice, and he said, "Wait a minute, send me in high definition to me. I need to show the editor." And one day after, he sent me an email. Said, "You don't know about from me, but that the Marvel editor will send you an email. We will do something together." And we did this Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. He, Romars, and me. It was very nice. But it was my first gig, and it was nice. It was a little surreal for me because I used to do monsters, chickens, pigs, birds, elephants, and after that I was doing Iron Man, Gamora, Drax, all these guys, and Rocket and Groot. That makes sense.
So
and everything. I said, I remember I was reading the script. It began in Asgard, destroyed by I don't know what. I said Asgard, and after nowhere. Man, I need to draw all this stuff. I want to draw all the only two characters working together, but I thought in that moment, if I can do this, I can do anything. I don't know if I can do anything, but I did.
You can do everything. You could also draw a pig and an elephant.
Yes.
So,
do you remember the first time that I went to a convention of yours? I think it was Magic City. I did this. I took this drawing and I put in Miami clothes. Do you remember that?
yeah, I do. I love that drawing.
Yeah, and the in the glass I have this little thing in the glass, but it was green with Versailles logo, and we have the Miami Heat at the flag.
Yeah, no, I love that piece by you. So you do Guardians, and that came out around the time of the movie.
It was great for me.
And then people start noticing you.
Yeah.
You did the lockjaw thing.
Yeah. After that, I did Bizarro. The DC called it the editors at DC saw the book, and they called me to do Bizarro. But if I could choose a character to work in DC, Bizarro is one of the three. So it was very nice. And after Lockjaw, Miss Marvel, After that, Moon Girl. Moon Girl, Moon Girl it was one of my best works because she's very nice. You work a little girl with a dinosaur. It's nice.
Yeah.
Dinosaur, right up your alley. Goes well with the pigs and the elephants and the
Monster.
and the birds and the monsters.
Yes.
Well, when did the Monstros Marvel crossover alternate covers roll in? You did several of them, didn't you?
I did two.
Did two? Okay.
It was Monsters and Gwen Stacy stuff they put together. Remember that? And
Hey, Vendette, roll it.
yeah, Kirby Monsters and Gwen Stacy. Yeah, I did too. I did Gugan and
This one.
this one is one of my favorites.
This
Oh
is
my
a
God.
great one.
I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Really? Oh no, yeah, that's one of my favorites.
That's ridiculous.
I think they like that because they did a poster. Marvel did a poster of this.
Oh, did they?
I didn't notice about that, and comic shop sent a email saying, "Oh, we have a poster of yours here, big." So, no, nice.
It's a pretty awesome Spider-Man on her.
The original idea it was Green Goblin because I am old. Gwen Stacy, Spider-Man, Green Goblin.
Well, that's a 70s Gwen in her little skirt and her green jacket and
Green jacket. Yes.
in her hair.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the editor said, Gustavo, I think what's the name of this guy? I don't remember.
Gugam.
No.
Or Gom, son of Goom. Oh, Jackal.
Jackal, yeah. And,
Jackal, yeah.
and
The new Jackal.
that is the editor at Marvel said to me, Gustavo, I think can be better with Jackal because he was at the story at that point. Sure, nice.
Yeah.
I think Vendetta pulled up one of your Bizarro books.
Hmm?
Mike pulled up one of your Bizarro books. He's going to pull it up here in a second. Here.
I need to say that I really fight for these shorts.
Yeah.
Because at the time, do you remember that Superman don't use the underwear?
Oh yeah.
And I was talking about it. No, I need to. All my character designers work with the underwear, and the editor said, no. Superman don't have anymore. So Bizarro don't have. And I said, a good point you have. If Superman doesn't have, Bizarro can have. And we started talking. Okay, Gustavo, you won. You can put.
And then eventually Superman got him back.
Yeah.
Maybe you may be responsible for that in some small way. You may have kept the pilot light going for the shorts.
Yeah. I think it's me. Sure.
And so I think your most high profile project to date has been the Justice League book that came out last year, right?
Yeah.
And so Dear Justice League, so tell us about what this is.
This is a very nice book. When DC started this new label for kids, they call a lot of writers that used to write to kids and to young adults, and they call some artists, and they put me to work with Michael Norton. He's a very good writer and a very nice guy too. So it was very nice to work with him, and the basic idea of the story is nice. Is the superheroes answering the questions of the kids. Questions like, Superman, do you do bad things? Not bad. Do you do wrong things? Or you are perfect and everything works for you? Superman, Aquaman, do you smell like fish? Wonder Woman, how it was your, I don't know, birthday of 8 years. It's a lot of kind of questions that kid could ask to the superheroes. So it was nice to see each one answering the questions and how they answer like superheroes and show them that they are normal. They have our problems. And it was nice to do. And it was a nice book to see because the colorist was Marcelo Maiolo. He's Brazilian too, and he's very, very good. And the book came very beautiful because of that.
What's great about that book is that it's not only in the comic stores, but it's also in all the bookstores.
Yes,
And
yes.
so it's in all the bookstores. It's in the kids section. So it's being exposed to a whole different audience than just comic book readers.
Sorry, Mike.
No.
That's an important thing in comics, in my opinion. I say that in Brazil all the time, and it fits in the United States, it fits in Germany, and never it's important to us with the people who do comics. We do for the people who loves comics, okay, but we need all the time new people reading our books, and we need kids reading comic books. And I remember when they called me and said, it's a new label at DC, and at this time we want to do comics for kids. I remember to say, comics are for kids. What you're talking about? Because we I don't know, as comic readers, you too, we grown up needing to say, oh no, comics is not only for kids. No, comics is not only for kids. We have comics that they are more hard to understand and more this, more that. No, comics is not only for kids, but it is for kids too. So it is important to do comics for kids. And it was very nice for me to do this book and to do other books to kids, and to be not only in a place that a hard user comic lover will find. I want to be found by a kid or by an adult that is not a comic hard user. It's people that, oh, that's nice, I like this cover, I will read. And he or she can like the book, start to read comics, and that's important.
And you get to draw dinosaurs.
That was before I do Moon Girl and Red Dinosaur and Devil Dinosaur. Now my Tyrannosaur is a little better, I think.
I got excited. I think I told you where I bought a copy of Dear Justice League was in a little shop in Paris.
Yes, you showed me the photo.
I was excited to find you in France.
Merci.
I knew you had made it. Okay, so we became friends, I think, a little bit over our mutual love of bourbon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we start doing the shows with us, and then I coerce you into helping me create these design these characters.
Yes.
And so you came up with the Galaxy Girl and G-Bot. And Vindet, can you bring some of those up? And I got to tell you, I love these characters, and they are our brand.
Mm-hmm.
And Gustavo, you are insane about your fonts and your design, and you very much care about the graphic design of your work.
I love graphic design. I think if you say to me, you need to choose to do stories or to do your drawings with graphic design, I need to choose only one. I think I need to choose my drawings with graphic design because it's my passion. I love to tell my stories, but I love to do these. When I do the posters for you, it's a pleasure because it is our characters, characters that we create together, and in a nice space like this, and I can do a big monster, and I can use your logo. That's nice, like I see here. It's a job that I really like.
So, and you've also done now a couple of variant books with us. Somebody keeps talking in the comments about the Invader Zim cover you did with us. Vinette, can you bring that up? You'll get it.
Yeah.
That was nice too.
And that was last year when we had the guys from Invader Zim did the show. So we want to do the variant, and you threw that together, and God only knows what he's going to do with those chickens.
I need to tell a fun story about this cover. You called me to do, and I talked to the editor. I said, "Hi, Gustavo, nice. You can do whatever you want inside these ideas, okay?" And I did some sketches, sent to him. So I love this one. And the original idea, it was like this, but it was not chickens. It was a cow. I think it was a cow, or a bull. I don't know. I think it was a cow. And said, we love this idea, but not with a cow. We can use another. We can have other ideas. I said, sure. And I put the chickens, and I put other ideas. And when I sent the chicken ones, I said, oh, perfect, with chickens. And my wife saw and said, Gustavo, you're doing a piece of cow story in the cover of Invader Zim. They choose, not me. Other thing. I said, they want chicken. Chicken meat. Chicken are good. Okay. I love this cover.
I do too.
It's a great cover, yeah.
And then you did one other cover for us. You, our buddy Tim, has New Book Money shot out.
Mm-hmm.
And so there you are. We that book was pretty popular. I think that was an unexpected surprise for a lot of people on how popular that book was.
I read the first book. That's it. This one. It's very nice. It's very fun. It's very well done. The drawings are fantastic. That's nice.
Well, Rebecca Isaacs is the artist on the book. She's a great artist.
He's very good.
Yes.
And so, and then recently, Mike, if you could bring up the new logo. So I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I called you up or I messaged you and I'm like, hey, we need a logo for this show. And you whip this up.
Yes.
And I see they're reading your comics.
Only the right one. The left one, it's a GalaxyCon poster that became a comic book.
Yes.
My idea was to put some comic book that I like in her hand, but I talked to the new one, and a specific one said no, not specific. Okay, I will put GalaxyCon, and nobody knows the back cover of the comic, so I can put that.
I figured all I knew was I wanted to have them reading comics. So I'm like, I don't know what it should look like. Make something happen.
Yeah.
And so now you're working on Dear Supervillains.
Yes.
Which is the sequel to Dear Justice League.
Yeah. It's basically the same idea, but with villains. So it's not the same idea because, as we talked, kids in Dear Here's Justice League. The kids are talking with the superheroes, and we see that they are like us. They have our problems, so the kids want to know about that.
Mhm.
And supervillains, it's a kind of that, but they are not good people. They are the worst people in the world. So we need to have these two things. One, that's the same of Dear Justice League, that they are people, they're normal people. Normal, not so normal.
Wow.
A brilliant gorilla like Rod is not so normal, but he is normal. And we see that in the story. We have another characters there, and we see these little things that turn them in close to us, but they are bad people. So we need to.
Are these kid characters asking the supervillains these questions?
Yeah. We have like in Dear Justice League. We have, at some point we have only their names because they are writing.
Okay.
And other points we have them. We see the kids.
Okay.
Patty, when you were a kid, would you write to Batman or would you write to the Riddler?
Write to the Joker.
Well, if I could write a letter to Gorilla Grodd, that would be fascinating because it's like, how does this work in Gorilla City and et cetera, all this other stuff.
Yeah. We have, in fact, I don't know if I can say that, but we have Gorilla City in the book.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But we have.
See, so Gustavo, you would write a letter to the Joker?
Yes.
When you were a little man?
Yes. Maybe I'll write now because in my head, Joker is Cesar Romero or Jack Nicholson.
No.
So I can ask about the Lakers to the Joker.
No, but Cesar Romero, that's Joker.
I think that Cesar Romero and Jack Nicholson are the best Jokers, and after we have the rest. Like we are talking about television and movies, I can put the best in television is Cesar Romero, and the best in the movies is Jack Nicholson.
And you can say the best animated is Mark Hamill.
Perfect, sir.
Yes.
You're right. You're right.
See, everybody's happy now. Well,
Yes.
not everybody, but most everybody's happy.
Everybody.
Although I am liking the Joker. I am liking the Joker in the new Harley Quinn cartoon on DC. Have you watched that, Gus?
No. I saw just a trailer last year. Is the cartoon? Is it good?
It's good.
A full confession: I am not a Harley Quinn fan. I'm enjoying the heck out of this cartoon.
But you are not a Harley Quinn fan. Not even the
not
classic
really.
Harley Quinn.
I like the classic Harley Quinn when she was as originally envisioned. I'm not too big of a fan of how she's exploded and now she's up there. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn. Jim Lee himself said it a couple years ago. She is the fourth linchpin of the DC universe.
I know. I'm doing a book with her.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues I have with that. But the animated series it's really worth checking out. They've created their own little bubble of continuity. It's a little bit like the Venture Brothers, if you've ever seen that.
Sure.
So it's very much in that vein where you don't ask questions of how it works that way, but you believe that everything works within its framework, and it's thoroughly entertaining.
It's very adult.
Very adult.
They swear and curse.
Almost too much, in my opinion, which is again weird, but
it's very funny, and the characterizations of Bane and Kite Man and Dr. Psycho, the King Shark. It's great. It's a lot of fun. They have I know that everybody says that Kevin Conroy is the greatest Batman, and he is Batman, but I will put Dietrich Bader up next to Kevin Conroy any day of the week as Batman. I love Dietrich Bader. I love Kevin Conroy. I love Dietrich Bader just as much.
When are we finally going to get him?
I've been working on it for years.
I know.
But Gustavo, if you get a chance, you should watch it. It's funny. It's funny. I waited for a year and a half because I just don't love Harley Quinn as a character. And then I just kept reading that it was a good show.
I don't know if I really love these Harley Quinn that I'm drawing. In fact, with the ponytail and
Pigtail, yeah.
I really love the classic one.
The Bruce Timm.
Bruce Timm.
Yeah.
I think that those cartoons were incredible. I used to love that part. And in the book, we don't have her with the classic clothes in the book, but I did something to have her with the classic look in the book.
Did you get Bizarro in the book?
Yes.
In the short?
He's not, but I put him in. I cannot say, but I put him.
We'll find
somewhere.
My two favorite villains are not in the book, but they are because I'm drawing. So
who's your other favorite?
Joker and Bizarro.
Oh,
Okay.
They are there. Joker because Michael is very nice and he I said, Joker is not in the book. And after a month, he wrote to me, Gustavo, I did something for you, and he put him in a place. But Bizarro is all me. And I said, Michael, I will do this. I will put Bizarro in this place. This place. It said, okay, you can do it. And
Now, what's your favorite kind of version of Bizarro? Because he's certainly gone through a lot of permutations. We talking like the Silver Age, Square Planet, Bizarro #1 type stuff, or later on when they try to make him serious, like a Frankenstein monster evil clone? Okay,
it's not serious.
Yeah,
the classic one. It's when I went to start the book. Asked DC and they sent me the classic books.
Yeah.
To read, and I read everything, and it was so surreal and so impossible. This is Bizarro for me.
Yeah.
The hard and serious Bizarro that it have a problem and he need that's not Bizarro for me. Bizarro is the super friend Bizarro.
Yeah.
This is Bizarro.
One of my favorite Silver Age.
Yeah, the Silver Age and the cartoons are the idea of Bizarro, and talking about who did drawing, the best drawing for him, for me, it was Eric Powell, and that miniseries was incredible. He's incredible.
One of my favorite Silver Age stories is Jimmy Olsen finds himself on the Bizarro world, and he thinks, well, they're all dumb. I should be able to work my way around this, but he just can't deal with their crazy logic and, oh, you write this too good. This ain't bad in our world. And he's just, completely wrong. And that was the Silver Age. It's my favorite drug.
Yes. Bizarro is a character that I work with, and I really want to work again. I would love to write a Bizarro story. Write and draw.
I would love to read and look at your Bizarro story.
Yes. I have a lot of ideas with Bizarro, and I would love to do. He's if I can choose two characters in DC to work, maybe Bizarro and Lobo. Lobo is great. When I was a teenager, Lobo was my favorite character. I don't know.
As a teenager, that makes sense.
I don't know if we can do that stuff again because the world is very different. But I love it.
Here's really? I would get a kick out of seeing your version of Lobo and your version of Bizarro. First of all, they're evenly matched, so they could pound the heck out of each other and just get back up and keep going on. And with your expressionist, cartoonist style, that just writes itself for an 80-page one shot. Boom, put it out.
Yeah.
Well, Gustavo, if you ever listen to Keith Giffen talk about Lobo, he says that he just kept going as hard as he could, saying, "You're just going to fire me. You're just going to fire me," trying to get fired. And then eventually pushed them. But we've talked to him at length about Lobo and his.
I would love to listen about that because I have their Lobo stuff, his Lobo stuff, at my house when I was a teenager in the books, and I went to drawing and to look and to draw the nose like he used to do, and it was very nice. All the stuff they used to say in the comics that now it's impossible.
Well, it's funny because Lobo is very much kind of like Harley Quinn. I was fine when Lobo was in his own Bisley killing Santa Claus and all this other goofy stuff. But whenever they pulled him into the regular DC universe, it didn't
But
work.
I loved him in the Justice League
it's like Bizarro. It's not serious.
When he was feeding the dolphins, when he was feeding the fishies.
The fishies, yes.
Hang on. Speaking of Bizarro, what do you got for me, Vendette?
What?
You got,
This is Bizarro.
Yes.
we got Bizarro.
Frankenstein Bizarro. What is that? That's art. I would love to do an entire graphic novel about Bizarro and Frankenstein.
So you got to convince DC to let you make the book.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know if they want to do this, but
how could they not?
I think like you. I think they don't want to do.
So you working on anything else right now other than Dear Supervillains?
I'm finishing the book. I'm the last 30 pages. The book is almost in the end, and now I'm talking with DC and with other people to my new book. I need to do a new book, so I'm start to think and start to talk. But I'm only doing these now. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of pages. I'm the guy who used to do 32 pages. Now the books have 120 pages. It's a lot.
Sure.
My wife every day. Oh, how was your day? How many pages you did? Did you finish? All the time I say, I will never finish.
Yeah.
All the time you have more and more. And when I finish these, you have. I hope you have more, and you have more. It never finishes the work forever.
And you're not the fastest artist in the world, are you?
No, but I'm far away to be the slow.
Not the slowest.
No.
But you want it to be.
Yeah.
But I think if an editor brings you on a project, they know what they're in for. They're not going to expect you to do 24 monthly issues on a tight schedule. You are a special projects artist, for sure.
Yeah, but for example, in Bizarro, I work with this deadline. It was monthly.
Mm-hmm.
It was a mini series, but I work like a regular book for 6 months.
All right, we got to talk to people in DC and get you on Lobo.
Lobo.
It's overdue. Well, it's overdue. I think Lobo and some other ancillary characters are they're in that weird limbo where they keep talking about doing a movie or they keep it doing something to do with it. So they want to wait to relaunch him to match whatever that ancillary media version is. So
I think the idea is to be the opposite of that. You need to do the book, and after you do another stuff. And you don't need anything. You already have all you need to do a great Lobo movie or series because look, it's here.
And for the record, let's pull him up. It's the classic Lobo and not the new 52 Lobo.
Classic.
Yes.
No, I remember I wrote a plot 3 years ago. 4 years ago, I went to DC. I went to Los Angeles, and I wrote a plot about Lobo. And at that point, the Lobo that was in the world, it was that 52 Lobo, the young Lobo that I never understood. And I wrote a plot about the classic Lobo coming back. And it was a nice story. But I think they didn't like.
But Lobo has to be, he's a comedy act. He has to be done for fun. It's not to be taken seriously.
Yes.
So I think a lot of the problem with Lobo, that especially Keith will be the first one to tell you, is that people take it too seriously. And he's like, Keith created it to be a mockery of all those characters. Your Wolverines. Oh, there's the overly serious New 52 version.
Yeah. It's a great design for any character as long as you don't call him wrong.
The drawing is very good. I'm not saying anything different from this, but I don't like the idea. My problem is the idea. In my story, I wrote a plot that it was almost the entire story ready to be done. And in the end, the classic Lobo go to the place that this Lobo was, and it was very nice ending for the story.
So,
well, last week, Jared, this Lobo got knocked out or something. So classic Lobo is running around in the DCU again. So
I remember. I don't know. 1 year after I talked to them to work with this, they put Lobo, the classic Lobo, in the books, and they put him in the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Strange, Lobo in the Justice League, but
yeah, a little odd. But yeah, like we've been saying, it was originally created to be a make fun of, Wolverine and that whole anti-hero, arg kind of mentality, and people started taking it seriously, and that's it loses its fun.
Yeah.
All right, kids. So it's time for us to wrap up and go back to work. We got to get you back on those 30 pages, Gustavo.
That's right.
Not today, please.
I need my dear supervillains.
Yeah. But only next year, not this year. They put the idea was in the beginning, it was launch the book, release the book in the middle of this year, in October. After they went to December, and now they are thinking to release in April. So I will finish the book next month, and we will wait almost a year to see the book.
So
good thing to wait.
So people can find you, Gustavo, on Instagram.
Yes.
If you it's Instagram.com. It's
underline Gustavo Duarte.
Right, and then any place else?
Twitter underline Gustavo Duarte.
And if you want to see some really awesome art by Gustavo, go to his Instagram. He's got a bunch of sketches up there. You've got some really cool stuff. You did a cute little thing with Robin and a cat dressed as Batman.
Yes, in the beginning of the quarantine, because I start to imagine the kids at home. It's too much time, and the parents don't have all this time because they are working. So I start to think what they can do with the kids, and I imagine me as a kid what I can do to transform a cat and Batman, to do Frankenstein with boxes and all this stuff.
do you do online commissions?
Normally I do when I go to a convention, and I
Okay.
open a list and do
Sure.
with my dear friend Paolo at Cadence.
Mhm.
But now I'm not doing because I'm finished the book.
Yeah.
And I'm sending, I'm inking some commissions that I did to Germany, because in the beginning of in the beginning of this craziness, I had a trip to Germany to do 5 releases in 5 stores
Mm.
and a convention, and everything was turned down because of the corona, and I didn't went. I have a new book there that
Yeah.
I like this. I want to have one Bizarro made with my style. All the time that I talk to someone at this, he said, "I'm gonna do a Bizarro like."
I need a Bizarro like yours. I need your Bizarro.
Let's think about that.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that.
All right, so we're going to wrap up. Gustavo, thank you for being here. We will have a drink later, and
Please.
then next week, Patty, we have Jim Shooter
Yes.
coming on.
Yes.
And the following week, we have your friend Paulo Belfiore from Cadence Comic Art, along with Tim Seeley. You know, your
nice.
other friend.
I like these guys.
Yeah.
We like him too.
And Gustavo, I can't wait to see Dear Supervillains. You'll have to show me some pages.
I will.
We'll have a drink, and I can't wait to see you soon at a show.
My friend.
One of our shows. Yeah, I guess as always, we look forward to when the world can go back a little bit back to normal. We look forward to having you on our stages, on our floor, in front of your fans, Gustavo.
I miss you guys a lot.
We miss you too.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much to
But
having me. It's a pleasure to see you.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be here.
Indeed.
Tell Josie we said hi,
Absolutely.
and we'll see you soon.
Say hi.
All right, Vendette, take us out.